furniture.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. This year, resolve to use less gas. You can carpool to work a few days a week and walk any distance under a mile. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet.
WPHT, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
I'm Stacey Lynn. News strikes from the U.S. on Houthi rebels in Yemen. The latest from the BBC's Will Vernon.
It comes, of course, after those strikes on Thursday night led by the U.S. Following that overnight action, President Biden sent a warning to the Houthis. He said there would be a further U.S. response if they continue what he called their outrageous behavior. And in fact, the Pentagon said that on Friday a missile was fired by the Houthis, but that missile failed to hit its target.
But amid concerns of a widening conflict in the region, President Biden says the U.S. is not in a proxy war with Iran. Temps are falling fast, and the record cold on the way will be a test of the nation's power grid.
ERCOT, the operator of the power grid in Texas, issued a weather watch ahead of a hard freeze that's expected to drive record-breaking power demand early next week. Houston resident Bob Cardenas is getting ready.
I got some insulation for some pipes coming into my house because 2 years ago it was that terrible freeze, and I don't want to relive that.
The Texas electric grid suffered a major failure during a deadly cold blast in February 2021. Places in the Mid-South, including Memphis, Tennessee, could see single-digit temperatures next week. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
You feeling yucky?
Winter respiratory viruses have been hitting hard this season.
They spread very quickly.
The Carter family suspects they got sick on a flight to Florida Christmas Day.
I've got a burning throat, I'm completely lethargic, and I've got a fever and headache.
And we should expect more illnesses to come. While some flu indicators decreased last week, like hospitalizations, the CDC says it's monitoring for another surge that usually comes after the holidays.
That's CBS's Michael George. Federal prosecutors will seek the death penalty for a white supremacist who killed 10 black people at a Buffalo supermarket in 2022. Mark Talley's mother was among the victims.
I'm not necessarily disappointed in the decision. I just would have preferred it be a lot. It would have satisfied me knowing more. He would have spent the rest of his life in prison, being surrounded by the population of people he tried to kill.
The 20-year-old white gunman's already serving a life sentence with no chance of parole after he pleaded guilty to state charges of murder and hate-motivated domestic terrorism. Well, you can now take the Jimmy Buffett Highway all the way to Margaritaville. The Florida State Legislature unanimously approved changing a section of Highway A1A in the Keys to the Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway in honor of the late Parrot Head. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your home and auto. Save when you bundle. Get a quote at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com. J1 Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
I will definitely look up the definition of short approach because I've never seen where it says you turn base with being a number. Because I don't see how you could possibly do that.
Well, I Googled it. If I'm on that flight, I don't want my air traffic controller and my pilot bickering about short approaches or whatever the hell they're talking about.